Good morning, evening, and or afternoon. Welcome to today's video. We're going to be going over Amrine Dungeon. This is the first dungeon in New World that you gain access to at level 25. This is not a speedrun tutorial. This is simply a tips and tricks video and what not to do's with a general overview of the dungeon itself. So let's go ahead and just get started. So we're going to start this off outside the dungeon with Archimedes here. He has a quest for some bones. And just some extra EXP and some loot. So go ahead and pick it up. I already have it. And then we're going to enter the dungeon with our group. Upon entering, it's pretty barren. Not a lot here. So you just continue forward, and up ahead on the left, on top of a crate, is your first journal. Go ahead and pick that up. Moving forward into the next area, there's just a couple of enemies. Nothing terrible. We do notice that our team comp, we did not get the right team comp, and we pay for it a little bit. We struggle to keep our healer from having aggro. We're going to go out on this platform with a tent and a few enemies. We're going to just quickly kill them and go down the stairs and then hug the right side. We're hugging the right because up ahead there's some enemies with a nest behind them, and they'll continue to spawn. And so we're going to go fight these enemies. There's a handful of withered and an abomination. We want to get this nest taken out pretty quickly. Once you've got this nest taken out, there is your first chest back here. And there it is, the first chest. Then we're going to go over into this open area we saw off to the left. We don't want to go to the far left and pull those enemies quite yet. So gather these enemies up with your tank. Go ahead and just burst them down real quick. You'll know you're done with the enemies in the middle area because a golden elite ghost will spawn. Make sure you take care of those. Right here, one of our teammates makes a small mistake, pulls an extra enemy. We're okay. We have enough over-leveled people. We're doing all right. But just be careful. You can also just group everybody up, kill them all at once, but that's dealer's choice. After you kill these enemies, off to the left side, there is a silver vein, and then we're going to go ahead and open this door if you don't need that silver vein back there. Continuing forward into the next room, there are 3 different areas in this room. We're going to immediately head left and clear the mobs to the left, and then go down to the left bottom platform. After you've killed those mobs, we're just going to hop off this staircase right here, and down behind this waterfall there's a chest. Once you grab this chest, there's also some other gatherables here. We have some watercress, a silver vein, and an iron vein by the stairs on the way down. Have you and your team gather whichever you need and go back up the stairs towards the center. Next, I like to go up this ramp. To the left, there's your next journal entry. Then we're going to go up this ramp, and we're just going to simply clear all these mobs real quick, and then head over to the right-hand side where the Ravager is. Once we jump down on this right hand, there will be a Ravager and another ghost, as well as a withered. Go ahead and take out that withered and ghost before focusing that Ravager down. That Ravager will be the first of the bones we need for Archimedes. Make sure you grab that here. Sometimes we've seen them despawn and group members not be able to finish the quest. So make sure you pick that bag up and have at least one bone here. Next, this next room's going to have another nest up top, but down at the bottom there's a soul spire you can mine and just an easy mob to clear. Go ahead and clear this room. And then there is a pillar to translate. Once you've cleared this nest, go ahead and translate that and continue forward. Go ahead and clear the next few mobs. Get into this next room. Now make sure not to fall off the edge here. If you die here, you will go back to the beginning of the dungeon and have to run all the way. It's not bad, it's just a bit of a jaunt. Go ahead and clear these first 2 mobs in this room, and then you'll see the giant orb in the center of the room. You can go ahead and activate it now. A couple more enemies will spawn, nothing terrible, or you can wait and do it after you've cleared the rest of the room. We choose to go ahead and activate it and clear the enemies so we don't have to do it twice. In this room, there are also 2 more nests. We want to take those nests out before pushing too far, being wary of how many enemies we're pulling. There are a couple of other stragglers, like this ghost and abomination over here. In the far other corner, you'll find the second nest. Just quickly take that out. Once you've cleared those enemies, head towards the other side of the room to the exit, but don't go out it yet. Behind the pillar on the far side, there lies a chest. Once you've looted this chest heading down that hallway, you will find your first respawn point, and you will activate it before going back in to that one room we saw the Ravager in before. This time, we're going to activate the 3 buttons. There's a button on that right, that bottom right where we saw the Ravager. There's a button on that bottom left where we were before we went down to the chest, and there's a button in the center here. One person's going to stand on each of those buttons, and you're just going to kite your enemies either up to the middle platform or in that area next to the middle platform so you can group them and damage them all together. Just as before, there will be a Ravager spawning on the right side. We want to try to kite that back towards our other teammates so we can all group up and take it on. My team decides to take this Ravager on here in the hallway. I don't recommend that, but in this next area, that's okay. We also have another one of those ghosts spawn. This is your second Ravager bone. Make sure you pick it up. Once again, we don't want those to despawn and not get the credit for that. Now going up top into the middle, we're going to go ahead and kite this safety officer right here over. This abomination is explosive, so when he dies, make sure you are going to back away. That explosion is not fun, and if you don't have enough health, it just sucks. Focus ads, take them down with whatever pulled across. One safety officer, Richards, is down. If the Ravager didn't follow with him, pull your 3rd Ravager across the bridge, and as before, just focus him down. In the hallway after that, there is a small chest. We want to go ahead and pick that up. And entering this next room, we want to pull a small group of mobs off to the left right inside this door. We want to kill them first. After that, we want to pull the abomination that's off to the right in that room before taking on the Ravager and the ghost that's also in there. After this, we can take on the Ravager or the ghost, whichever one we prefer. We take on the Ravager, and this is important to understand your pull ranges. Here, we pull the Ravager too far, and he starts his retreat animation, which heals him to full, and we have to start from scratch because the person who had aggro backed up too far into the other room. So just be wary. Any enemy can do that, and it's just frustrating. So make sure you are aware of your spacing. Up top, you'll see a locked chest and another piece of your journal. You want to go ahead and grab that. But we don't want to mess with the shrine yet. Instead, we want to head off to the left and take care of some of these small enemies back here, clear that out, and then there's another chest to go grab. Once you've grabbed this chest, you can head back to the main area. Now you can either clear out the mobs in front of the other door or activate the shrine. We choose to go ahead and clear out those mobs so we don't accidentally pull them in the middle of this next fight. And we just do that very quickly before going and activating the shrine. Once you activate the shrine, Foreman Nakashima is going to appear. Foreman Nakashima is our mini-boss. He has a few moves. Magical Trap is when Foreman Nakashima places a purple circle on the ground, and if you touch the edges, you will be momentarily stunned. This is generally paired with Spectral Walls, where Nakashima summons 3 to 6 specters, and they quickly charge in different angles, dealing a lot of damage. And there's occasionally gaps in that wall, and you can kind of use it to dodge if you're quick enough, but you might want to have your potions ready here. Our last move here is Spectral Scream. Nakashima charges up an attack, he looks up while he does it, and lets out a scream, then throws waves of specters out of him coming in different directions. Once you've defeated Foreman Nakashima, that chest will unlock and you can go ahead and loot it, and get ready to move into the next area. When you approach the hallway to leave, you will find a Ravager sitting there at that door on the other side of that wall. This should be your 5th Ravager, the 4th being the one you fought in this room earlier. If you don't pick up your 5th bone here, you are wrong. Then go ahead and clear out these small mobs before getting this next respawn point, and from here, you're going to be going into the final boss room. Off to the left, there will be some small mobs. We just want to pull them and kill them real quick so we don't have ads when we start the fight. There should be another one off to the right. Just go ahead and quickly pull him before stepping all the way into the room. When you step into the room here, Simon's going to talk for a little bit, and that blue bubble is going to disappear. Once he's done talking, his health bar will appear, but until then, he does not take damage, so don't waste your stuff. Now let's talk about Simon's abilities. First and foremost, Simon summons workers. They are 3 withered, nothing big, but you do want to make sure you focus them down. If you don't, you'll get overwhelmed as Simon summons more. Simon also vomits corrupted sludge. When Simon vomits this corrupted sludge, these withered are going to go try to eat it. When they eat it, they become empowered and do more damage. If a worker is enraged and has this buff, Simon will then go try to eat that worker. If he eats that worker, Simon will also become enraged for a few seconds and hits much, much harder, and we absolutely don't want this. This sludge is also an AoE. It applies a poison debuff and does damage over time while you're on it. Now, the next moves we want to talk about are for those up close and personal. Simon has a charge where he charges forward and deals damage to anything in his path. You can dodge or block it. He also has a bash where he takes his hands and smashes both hands, making the target become stunned unless they block that attack. Once you kill Simon, you want to make sure you go over to the altar he was standing in front of and get your heart stone. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but for those who haven't run this dungeon, go there first. From there, there's a chest up next to the exit. Make sure you loot that. And then you can exit the dungeon. Once you exit, make sure you go turn in your quest to Archimedes. Right next to Archimedes, you will see that last journal entry. And with that, you finished Amrine Dungeon. So let's talk about a couple things before we close it out. If you're level 23, 24, or just simply not confident in dungeons yet, make sure you have a good team comp. You want to have at least a tank and a healer, as well as 2 DPS. On top of that, when you enter the dungeon, make sure you're not getting overwhelmed. Pull small groups of adds, and then add as you're more confident in your group and your damage. Also focus down those small, weaker adds first. Focus down those silver enemies before you focus down the gold enemies. This is a good strat for any dungeon and really should just be the strat you take pretty much everywhere. And then last but not least, don't forget your Archimedes Bones. Almost every time we run Amrine, at least one person doesn't get their bone. Either they forget to grab it and it despawns, or they didn't see it. We've had one glitch out where just try to count all 5 bones out, pin it up on the side so you can see the quest as it goes, and make sure you get all 5 bones before the end of Foreman Nakashima. And with that, guys, you finished Amrine Dungeon. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stick around for more content, all that jazz. We'll be putting out more and it helps the algorithm if you do. And we'll catch you in the next one.